Welcome back everyone to episode 3 of the Deep Dive series of my K-1337 submarine player home and workshop mod. Good news, right away, version 0.9.4 is available on Access right now and you can download it in the description below. Though please keep in mind to actually read the description and understand it's not a full version yet that may come with some minor inconveniences. Also, thank you so much for the patience for this video to come up. It's been a bit difficult to cycle through streaming on Twitch for my sole income, where people rather prefer games to be played rather than made. Doing the latter and the creation kit, working on videos like this one too, while having a real life with responsibilities. Adulting. We all hide it, don't we?
Hello?
I love you.
Anyway, so after we did the rough planning in the previous episode, we are now going finally into the building. Unfortunately though, enough time has passed for Twitch to no longer have the VODs of the streams available for download to me to show what I've built their live on stream, so time to stage it like in the good old propagandized Soviet Union. So first thing I did is duplicating the interior cell of the youngster and saving that already as my new ESP file, so I cannot possibly under any circumstances accidentally overwrite. From there on, all I did is simply reverse engineering what Bethesda created and destroy all the hard work of the other level designers before. I'm such a bad boy. Or do you think we gain the knowledge of the human body with that reverse engineering? Doctors, they are evil. The benefit of duplicating a cell is that it can do in there whatever you like and it won't touch the base game, as you're not editing the original cell. Because with the nemesis of full-on modding and a quest to the youngster, we defo do not want to screw with that. But also building an interior cell requires some more planning. After all, we have a time schedule of only 35 days to stick to, hence we cannot afford building whatever we feel like. So we have to weigh up and make a sacrifice. So the question is, what's the most important part of my mod? As it's going to be a player home with an interior workshop that I want to convert into a settlement, it is the interior cell itself. Because without an interior cell, building the workshop and scripting a settlement seems rather useless. Besides, a settlement is a super extra feature that is to be enjoyed with care. It requires a lot of scripting and linking, and the main problem of it is, once you have decided to put it down, it is rather dangerous to change something after the release. So it has to be 100% congruent with a verified badge and Todd seal of approval that it just works before we put a functional settlement on it and let users know in our description page. Though obviously some people cannot read. Because otherwise, if we decide to change something in that interior cell later, it may not only result in corrupted save files, but also a broken settlement in itself that would have to be redone from scratch again, and in worst case scenario, even break the entire interior cell and hence the mod itself. And I think we do not want that, do we? So the focus shall lie on building the interior cell, then make adaptations according to people's feedback before we put the framework of the settlement on top and round the mod up for 1.0. Because we do not want to create a disaster release like Cyberpunk. Starting with the exterior model for the submarine with yet nothing at all inside of it seems rather stupid too. Because in that we can still utilize the youngster's exterior fort, or just simply have a boat ashore that acts as a teleporter, implementing that the player is just taking that to get there. So in this duplicated cell I could now salvage what they used, being a scavenger now not only in the game, but also the engine, to build the basic hull of the K-1337's interior. Starting with the walls, floors and foundations, though we already had here a little problem live on stream as we found that some of the pieces of the nautical building kit seem to have a slight misalignment so they don't operate on a snapping grid as they should, leaving tiny cracks into the void. That may explain why the kit wasn't used so often in Fallout 4. But that is still no biggie. After all, we can still paste in place and just tweak the pieces into each other. Oh no, what have I done? Well, since the pieces are fighting over the dominance, we will just randomly pick one to be the one in the foreground with editing its 3D data to be slightly a step above the other. Sorry, piece, sorry, we still love you regardless. So once we have built the walls, floors, and foundations, we get the score oh, no, wait, that wasn't 76. We do get the basic hull of a room we can now fill up with the raw furniture and objects to round it up. In that action, though, it was important to also always keep in the back of the mind that we will have to utilize some objects to work for the settlement later in terms of production. That's one reason why you may find the beds of the quarters being usable furniture, but not yet assigned to the workshop, because remember, framework for the settlement at the very end, once everything is finished and the feedback seem fine. But how would settlement production look on a submarine, you may rightfully ask? Don't worry, I already have thought of that while building. See, workshop production items practically can be static meshes, so objects we place, with the necessary script on them to produce what we need. Hence we could use the stoves in the galley to produce food for the settlement, though it's a Soviet submarine that wouldn't need any food, right? Some of the random pumps in the machinery room can be utilized to work as water purifier pumps. I mean, the submarine is surrounded by water after all. And the nuclear reactor to produce energy, or just copy the fuse breaks from Diamond City's home plate. Because rule number 1 in development: do not replace or remove assets already placed. I don't know how many times I taught this to Hello Games who continuously did that in No Man's Sky, because what happened is that my 200-hour save file was relying on assets it could no longer find, and hence, my save file was corrupted. Great, 200 hours. It didn't stop me from having fun in No Man's Sky afterwards again, though. Anyway, back to the topic. With that in mind, I had to make sure that everything I place would be final if I intend to offer safe updating of my mod without having to start a new save file. And Fallout is one of these games you can easily have hundreds of hours in per save file. As I know from experience how much it sucks to lose such a file, and a lot of modders, yet not all of course, do not tend to care about that, I wanted to make a difference. Which, of course, would mean people would need... People would... I can't read my own script. Which, of course, would mean that people would get less content at the start, and I therefore may have some haters here and there. But hey, nobody died a saint. Except George Lucas. Oh wait, he's not dead yet? After the recent Star Wars movie, I bet he... Anyway, back to the topic! I think I drank one energy too much while writing my video script, I'm sorry. Thoughts go wee! So from here on, there isn't much I can further report, as it becomes very repetitive of this very work. Duplicating items and meshes in a duplicated cell to reutilize them. Utilizing meshes and items from the object window that weren't used on the Yangtze yet. Merging meshes together to save the player's PC resources. Turning some items into static meshes for environmental storytelling and optimizing performance. Experimenting with lights to put certain places into scenery. Adding sound markers to objects for immersion, ambience, and atmosphere. Recording my own sounds for certain items. Composing my own ambient soundtrack. Scripting terminals, doors, teleporters, markers, and the workshop. Writing stories to be put into terminals and notes. Creating new textures to be used by new items and meshes. And many, 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 many more things. That practically rounds up all the interior building, but let me know in the comments below if I should cover some details, or if there's something you spotted in the 0.9.4 that you'd like me to cover specifically in an extra episode. For now, I'll say thank you for watching, and catch you another time, another day.